Hey guys, welcome back to Southern Gal True Crime. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for deciding to drop in and hang out with me for a little bit. I hope everybody's had a good weekend. It's Monday, and I'm starting a new segment I'm going to do. I come across a lot of like missing persons and cold cases that don't have a whole lot of information, not enough to do a whole video into itself. Of So I decided that I'm going to have a missing person Monday, which is not a new concept. I've seen it done elsewhere, but this is the first time I'm doing it. So tonight I'm going to bring you five. These are cold cases. They are all from Arkansas, and I will be bringing those to you. If you're, like I said, if you're new here, check out the playlist that I have. The majority of the cases that I share and the missing persons and the cold cases are not the high profile cases that are in the news 24/7. I just feel that they still need to be shared to get their names out there, so the victims and the victims' families keep the names out there, keep them in the spotlight so that they are never forgotten. That is my mantra here, is never forgetting the victims, no matter how big or small the cases are. So that's why I like to share these smaller. Well, not small, they're big and important, but like I said, they're just a little more low profile. So we will get into, I got sidetracked as usual. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and check the notification bell to all so you won't miss when I upload new videos. I usually try to upload two to three times a week, depending on when I have time. With my work schedule's kind of crazy sometimes, so just whenever I have free time, I try to get some videos recorded because I feel it's important to get this information out. So we're going to get to our cases for the night. Oh, goodness. There we go. Let me get it full screen so I can. There we go. So I can read. My eyesight's not so good anymore the older I get, even with glasses. So the first case we're going to look at is Janice Potts. She went missing on August 28th, 1981. So this is a very old cold case. She went missing from Harrison, Arkansas. She was classified as endangered missing. She is a white female, 40 years old, 5'7", 110 pounds. Her last known clothing she was wearing is just as a dress. She has black hair and brown eyes. Now, one of the sad things about this case is that she was 4 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance. So not only has she disappeared, and but also the child that she was carrying. So it makes it just even more sad. She, like I said, she went missing from Harrison, Arkansas on August 28th, 1981. She was divorced at the time. She worked the night shift, and she lived with her three sons. She had three sons plus the unborn child. Her middle son, who was 18 at the time, had left. He played football, so he had left a pair of football pants at home because he wanted his mom to sew the knee pads in them. So her son came home at noon on that day, saw that his pants had been sewn, and his mother was in bed, which was not unusual because I think it says she worked the night shift. So he took the pants, the football pants, and he returned to school. So after school, he returned home and his mother was gone. The house was unlocked. says the lights were turned on. There were beans simmering in the slow cooker, which was left on. And the clothes iron was sitting out and turned on. So with the lights being turned on, leaving a slow cooker, which is what I call a crock pot, turned on, and the iron was left on. Either she, in my opinion, either something happened, she left the house quickly. It was said maybe she just was going to go out and run a quick errand and be right back, or someone came in and took her from the house is another possibility. We just don't know. So the son didn't really think that much about it. I think he's the one in the article I read that mentioned that he thought she had just ran out for a quick errand and would be right back. So he went to the football game that night, and when he was driving through town after the game, his older brother flagged him down and said that their mother had not shown up for work. So they began looking for her. They couldn't find her, but they did find her car in the mall parking lot. Her purse and the sweater that she normally were inside the car, but her keys and her pocketbook were missing. And after that, she was never seen again. So this very, very strange, well, to me, all disappearances are strange. But just a weird set of circumstances. Like I said, leaving the food on the stove, the iron left on. They found the car in the mall parking lot. It's just very weird. So the investigating agency is the Harrison Police Department. So if you have any information about Janice or her disappearance, you can call 870-741-5463. Sorry, I had to lean in closer to very small writing. Maybe if I get the camera a little bit closer, I can see better. All right, our next missing person is Zachary Alden Name. Now he went missing on July 20th of 2018. So this one's a little bit more recent, about 5 years. He went missing from Malvern, Arkansas. He is considered endangered missing. He is a white male, 26 years old, 5'8", 210 to 230 pounds. He drove a white Chevy Sonic, which is accounted for. He had red hair, hazel eyes. He has a scar on the right side of his jaw. He has a lot of tattoos. He has a pit bull's head on his left bicep, praying hands on his left forearm. And it says it has his son's baby footprint on his right forearm. The word evil on his chest, and a triangle symbol on his back. And I was going to do a slide with the tattoos, and I forgot to put it in there. But all this information I'm bringing to you tonight comes from the charleyproject.org. So if you want to see a picture of the tattoos, you can just go in there and search his name, and it'll bring up the pictures of the tattoos. There we go. Sorry, still having difficulty with my slides. No, go back. There we go. Okay. Zachary was last seen in Malvern at 8 p.m. on July 20th, 2018. He said he had to go to work early. He worked at Walmart in Hot Springs, and he was never seen again. So a few hours after his disappearance, his white Chevy Sonic was found abandoned at mile marker 86 on Interstate 30 between Malvern and Arkadelphia. His cell phone, a change of clothes, and a bag of laundry were inside the vehicle, and the keys were in the ignition. It was reportedly uncharacteristic of him to bring a change of clothes to work. Sorry, there's something keeps popping up in front of. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay. Um, this thing, I have so much trouble with these slides. And there's a little thing in front of it now where I need to be reading that I can't read. But anyway, so his family said that it would be uncharacteristic of him to leave without notifying them or to abandon his son. He had a toddler son. His case remains unsolved. And it also said that it would be uncharacteristic of him to carry a change of clothes for work. So, if you have any information, you can contact the Hot Spring County Sheriff's Department at 501-337-7738. All right. Next, we have Lori Ann Murchison Dunbar. And this writing is really small, so bear with me. Lori Ann went missing on September 2nd of 1995 from Fort Smith, Arkansas. She is classified endangered missing. She is a white female, 24 years old, 5'2" to 5'5", 100 pounds. She was last seen wearing a white sleeveless cotton shirt, cut off blue denim shorts, white socks, black sandals. She had a gold oval-shaped knuckle ring on her left index finger and a necklace with a cross pendant on a black ribbon. It says that Lori Ann had attempted self-harm in the past, and she may have been alcohol and or drug dependent. She had brown hair, although the picture here is blonde hair, so she could have dyed it. Brown hair, brown eyes. It says her hair was bleached blonde at the time of her disappearance. She has a tattoo of a unicorn on her left shoulder, a tattoo of a heart with an arrow piercing it on her left breast, and a rose tattoo on her left ankle. Her ears are pierced. She has moles on her chin. She has scars on her left ankle and left leg, and a cesarean section scar on her abdomen. She wore upper dentures and only has about 5 teeth in her lower jaw. She has a dimple in her cheek that appears when she smiles, and some agencies have referred to her as Lori Murchison. So that was a lot of information, but this type of information, any tattoos, scars, birthmarks, are all very good when you're trying to locate somebody, or if you find remains. A lot of times that's how, depending on what condition the remains are in, that's how a lot of these missing are identified, or by scars, tattoos, and the like. She was last seen at approximately 5:40 a.m. in Fort Smith, Arkansas on September 2nd, 1995. She was seen on the corner of Parker Street and South 6th Street, near the Continental Motel at the time of her disappearance. She and her boyfriend had been arrested after they got into a car accident while they were intoxicated. And she disappeared the day that she was released from the county jail. And she's never been seen or heard from again. She never picked up her last paycheck from her place of employment, which was Oaks Lodge Nursing Home. And she never contacted her. She had a baby daughter, never attempted to contact her. And now or at the time, the daughter was being raised by her mother. Her boyfriend had given her $50 to bail him out of jail, and she may have had the money with her when she vanished. Now, I didn't put this in here because I didn't want to put any names out there. I'm trying to remember exactly. There was a person, an official, who was somebody alleged that for some reason or another, I can't remember, that he was alleged to have either killed Lori or had her killed for some reason or another. I think it had something to do with drugs or something of that nature, but nothing ever came of it. He wasn't charged, so I didn't include any that the information or his name. Police received information from 5 different sources that Lori may have died of an accidental drug overdose, and that a man who was with her when she overdosed disposed of her body. And I don't think it ever gave the name of this person. Now, it does say authorities attempted to prosecute this man for abuse of a corpse, but the statute of limitations had expired, and the individual never faced charges or was convicted of anything to do with her disappearance. It says Lori was traveling back and forth between Fort Smith and Wilburton, Oklahoma for some time prior to her disappearance. So she could be anywhere between here or there. And her case, of course, remains unsolved. The investigating agency is the Fort Smith Police Department. So if you have any information about Lori or her disappearance, you can contact them at 501 709 5100. All right. Next up, we have Gary Lynn Mullinax. He went missing on May 9th, 1976, from Benton, Arkansas. He is classified as endangered missing. He is a white male. At the time he went missing, he was 21 years old. He was still alive today, he would be 69. Who at the time of his disappearance, he was 5'4" to 5'6", 140 to 160 pounds. Now it says here he was wearing unknown what clothing he was wearing, but he always wore dressy clothing, as I say. He drove a green 1970 AMC Javelin with Arkansas plates. It is accounted for. He had brown hair, brown eyes. He had previously fractured his left hip in a fall out of a tree, and fractured his jaw on both sides in a car accident. And he may have had a full beard or a mustache. So he was last seen in Benton, Arkansas on May 9th, 1976. It was Mother's Day. He had visited his parents before coming to see his 3-month-old daughter. It's just so sad because in most of these cases, it's always sad, but in most of these cases, the missing have had very young children that they left behind. So I just feel so bad for these babies that grew up without their parent. Okay, so I lost my place. He left saying he was going to meet someone and that he would be back in an hour, and he was never seen again. A few days after he disappeared, his green 1970 AMC Javelin was found parked on a side street off of Asher Avenue in Little Rock. All of his belongings were in it, including his wallet, keys, and the location was near his brother-in-law's shop building. So I'm assuming that means that his brother owned some kind of business, maybe some kind of repair shop, maybe. I'm not sure It didn't say. Um, he was separated from his wife at the time of his disappearance, and his family stated that it's uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. Unfortunately, the Benton Police Department did not keep any of their records from before 1981, so his original missing persons report has been lost. So, therefore, few details are available in the case. But if you have any information, you can contact the Benton Police Department at 501-776-5948. All right, next we have Miss Jean McKinney. She went missing on April 15th, 1982 from Piercy, Arkansas. I almost said Percy, Arkansas, because we do have a Searcy, Arkansas, that's spelled the same. It's Searcy. But anyway, I'm assuming this is Piercy. But anyway, she is classified as endangered missing. She is a white female. She was 55 years old at the time she disappeared. So today she would be 96 years old. Bless her heart. She was 5'3" and 175 pounds at the time of her disappearance. She was last seen wearing a blue pantsuit with a belt and brown shoes, and she was carrying a beige canvas purse. She drove a Chevrolet Caprice, which once again is accounted for. She had dark blonde hair, but she often wore wigs. She owned one platinum blonde wig. She wears glasses and upper and lower dentures. So she was last seen by her children on April 13th, 1982. She worked part-time at Abilities Unlimited, but she failed to show up for work on April 15th, so her daughter reported her missing. After her disappearance, her Chevy Caprice was found at the Little Rock Airport, but detectives do not believe that she flew out of the airport. There was no records of her purchasing a ticket, and she was afraid of flying. So there is actually a suspect or person of interest in this case. Investigators believe that Jean's second husband, G.A. McKinney, may allegedly have been responsible for her disappearance. Neighbors saw Jean and G.A. drive off in his truck on the day of Jean's disappearance. But he later denied that he had been in his vehicle that day. Another big red flag. He also removed a large piece of carpet from the utility room of the home that day, the day that she disappeared. And he claimed that the washing machine had leaked on it and ruined it, so he cut it out and tossed it. Like I said, big red flag. And also another big red flag. One witness claimed to have seen G.A. leave his home on the morning of April 15th, which is when she disappeared, with a barrel in the back of his vehicle. And he returned 30 to 45 minutes later without the barrel. Could be something, could be nothing. In my opinion, it's something. Because he cut out the piece of carpet from the utility room, and then he was seen with all this happening on the day that his wife disappeared. Then he was seen leaving with the barrel in the back of his truck and coming back 30 minutes later without the barrel. So, like I said, this is just my opinion, but, take it as you will. Of course, he maintains his innocence, and her disappearance he has not been charged with any wrongdoing in relation to her disappearance. But authorities do think that Jean's body is buried somewhere in rural Garland County, but searches of the area have turned up no sign of any remains. So I take that to mean that the authorities also think that her husband may have had something to do with her disappearance. They just don't have the evidence, enough evidence to charge him with anything. But if you do have any information, as always, you can call the Garland County Police Department at 501-622-3690. All right. Oh, okay. That was the last one. So we have our five missing for our missing person Monday. We have Janice Potts, Lori Ann Murchison Dunbar, Gary Lynn Mullinax, Zachary Alden Name, and Jean McKinney. So, like I said, if you have any information about any of these cases, or you want any additional information, if there is any, you can contact you can go back through the slides or pause the video and call the various law enforcement agencies, and they will, I'm sure, gladly give you some information. And I will also put a link to the charleyproject.org in the description box, so you can go and look at these cases. And I encourage you to look at any, just browse through cases and, just look and familiarize yourself with some of them. Because the more that we can get these names and these stories and these cases out there, we might be able to make a little bit of difference in trying to, maybe generate some leads tips, or at least, the very least, just keep the names out there so that they are never forgotten. All right, I think that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you, as always, be sure to please like, share, comment on the video. The more likes, shares, and comments it gets, the more YouTube pushes it out, and the more people that see it, the better. I'll probably be back Wednesday with, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Honestly, I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants with these. Wednesdays usually maybe some current true crime that's in the news. There's a lot of cases going on lately. And then Friday will be my missing person cold case. I think it's the Dana Stidham case. I think that's the one I've got recorded already. Anyway, so be sure to tune in Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday if I have time. I may do I like to lighten it up a little bit on Sundays, and I'll probably do some more dumb criminals, because y'all seem to like these dumb criminal stories that I bring to you. And Lord knows, we all know there's no shortage of dumb criminals out there. So if I can, like I said, if I have time to get it recorded, I will bring you that. All right, I'm babbling now. It's late. So I will say thank you very much again for watching. Take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Please take care of each other. That is the most important thing that we can do, is take care of our fellow men, women, and children. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.